welcome to the Zellbobian journey. This is Chapter 2, called Interstellar Robotic Mayhem. Chapter 1 was called The Zellbobian Arrival, and there are 4 scenes. Scene 1, having fun. Scene 2 is Uncle Frank's Amusement Park. Scene 3 is Sludge Mart Abductions. And Scene 4 is Matadors from Outer Space. Alright, and this right here is the first scene of Chapter 2 called this Uncle Frank's Amusement Park Part 2. I hope you like it. Uncle Frank! Uncle Frank! Uncle Frank! The chants continue. Patrons of this small town in Nevada have waited patiently for Uncle Frank to open the gates after a 1-week investigation to the exploding pumpkins incident. The gates began to squeak, grind, and moan as the wheels clickety-clack, clickety-clack, click, 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 and the metal on metal onslaught comes to a halt. So, Uncle Frank, who put the gunpowder inside the pumpkins last week? Asked a teenage boy. Uncle Frank's face dropped as if he'd seen a ghost. Well, son, you don't need to be concerned about that. It was a freak accident, and that stunt will never happen here again. The young man stood and glared at Uncle Frank for a few moments and then turned around and walked away. He was convinced that Uncle Frank knew the truth. But no matter what Frank said, the boy was not buying it. Okay. The patrons run through the park in hopes of being the first one in line to ride a variety of blood-pumping, heart-stopping, and hair-raising rides. At least that is what the billboards on the way in promise. Some of the patrons stumble upon an unusual ride, unlike one that anyone has ever seen before. It's called the Hay Ride. The loudspeaker announces, "Step right up and load all the loose hay and be the first group to board the hay ride." As strange as it is, people tear right into the hay, removing it to find a ride shaped like a spaceship. The spaceship hovers above the ground and without making a sound. Wow! Uncle Frank did it this time. Talk about optical illusion. Where are the supports to keep the ship above ground? A voice calls from the ship. Welcome. We need 20 volunteers to board Phantom Starship. The volunteers enter the escalator, ascend, and the door closes. We are the Zellbobians from Zellbob. We mean you no harm. We just want to do a quick brain scan for each one of you. Don't worry, you won't remember a thing. A few moments later, the 20 people are standing outside the spaceship. One group of 20 people are taken aboard each hour up until closing time. The next day, the place is buzzing with talk about the hayride. Excuse me. Howdy, Uncle Frank. Your Phantom Spaceship ride is amazing. Uncle Frank answers, What are you people talking about? I keep hearing about this hayride. There's no such thing. There never has been and there never will be. The patrons look over at the spot where the hayride was located. Well, yeah, it was right over there. Uncle Frank and a few customers walk over to the spot where they were summoned to board the ship. Crazy thing, I boarded the ship but don't remember a thing. Everyone within earshot goes silent. Then, it's almost eerie, kind of like being abducted and not remembering a thing. The only clue is that there are a few strands of straw remaining where the ship was. To be continued. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the first installment of Chapter 2. The next one will be Phantom. Let's see. Well, you know what? Let me think about that one. That's still a work in progress. So I hope you enjoyed this segment, and thank you for listening.